Hello all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon or good day. This is EEP Venture Creation and Growth, and I'm going to take you through Module 3 of the course. Actually, for many business owners or entrepreneurs, we are always at dilemma on how do we get the money to finance our businesses. How do we get money to grow our businesses? How do we get finance to support our businesses? So that's why I'm here today. And from your initial classes, you have been able to understand that entrepreneurship is all about taking risk. And whichever venture you are going into, money must be involved. And when the money is involved, that means you are taking a lot of risk to do your business. So as an entrepreneur, you should know that you're a risk taker. So, and you have to find a way of getting that resources that will enable you to properly manage your venture. Financial resources is very key to all organizations. Without finance, many organizations may not or cannot operate efficiently. That's why I want to put you through to this module so that you'll be able to know what are those available options open to businesses, to entrepreneurs, to business managers, to be able to get the financial resources needed for the day-to-day and smooth running of their ventures. This is Sources of Fund. I am Dr. Shukura Bello. I'm from the Department of Business Administration and Entrepreneurship of this great institution, Bayero University, Kano. According to the Small Business Administration of the United States, they said when you are thinking of getting fund, in the main fund, we are talking about money. This is not money for parties. This is not money for social events. This is money for running a business. That is what is called fund. How do I get fund? There are a lot of questions, or if you want to make decision of the fund you need, you have to put into consideration some of these questions. Why do I need fund? What are the reasons for the fund? Is it a startup? Am I just starting my business? I need money to finance the capital needed for the business. In this case, you may be needing business premise, assets, both the fixed and the variable asset. At the same time, you may need the working capital. That's the money you use for the day running of the business. Why? You have to determine why do you need fund. Is it an emergency fund? Is it a fund for growth? Is it a fund for a startup? So you have to decide that. Secondly, you need to ensure that you have a proper budget, a proper plan, financial plan on how much you need. You have to be able to look at the available resources you have and to be able to come out with a clearly spelled amount that you need to run your business. In that case, you have to determine how much you need. Why do you need the money for growth? How much do you need? You have to determine that. When do I need it? Is it immediate? Is it for a medium term? Is it for a short time? Normally immediate, maybe you have some contingencies or emergency. Maybe you have some shortage in your working capital. That means the money you are using to run your business. You may decide to say, okay, is immediate. It may be for growth, expansion. All these we categorize them as long term. So if you need the money, you need it not only to take care of your immediate need, also your future need. How long do you need? And where can you obtain it? They have so many available options to entrepreneur. The options that was available, let's say in the last 20 years, were not the same option in the last 10 years, and is not the same option today. So we have so many available options. Where can you get it from? So I think that's one of the main objective of this model. The places, the institutions, the avenues you can likely get fund for your business. Then how can I repay? Whether you are taking a loan or a friend is giving you the money to pay back, or you are taking a loan from financial institution, you have to know when you are to repay. In this case, you have to also plan the repayment method. How do you schedule your repayment? You have to know that. So if you can answer these questions, why, how, when, how, where, and how can I repay, that has really simplified the process. It has really simplified the process because you know how much you need. Is it little amount? Is it a big amount? Did I need for a short time, or did I need for a long time? Did I need to eat for expansion, or I'm starting a business afresh? How will I pay? Can I pay in lump sum, or I'm going to pay in installment? All these, if you can answer these questions, you have simplified the process of obtaining fund for your business. There are, just I said earlier, there are so many avenues or sources you can get your fund from. There is what we call equity sources of funds. Equity means when there is no debt. Many of you may not understand what is debt. Equity, when you are getting money as equity, you don't borrow. We have also fund that we use for the short term. We have the one that is going to serve the business or the venture for a medium term. And we have those that will serve the venture for a long time. All these we are going to see them and discuss them. I believe that by the end of this module, you should be able to differentiate funds that are from debt and the ones that are from equity. You should be able to know those funds that are short-term, medium-term source of fund, or the long-term. And at the same time, you should be able to know what are those funds you can get from the formal setting, and you should be able to differentiate them with those funds you can get from the informal sources. So all these are some of the learning outcome, what you expect you to know from this module. As an entrepreneur, I always tell students that money, funds, capital, whatever name you call it, to start your business, money to start your business, fund for your business, capital for your business, can never be a mitigating factor. Why did I say that? If you are a determined entrepreneur, you have your business plan, you want, whether it's a pull or a push factor, I know they must have taught you in those other modules that have made you to venture into any entrepreneurial activity. the source of getting your fund, if you are really determined to move your venture forward, if you are really determined to make impact in the society, if you are really determined to better your own life, standard of living, your economic situation, how to source for this fund should not be a problem to you. I was going through some stuff online this morning. I saw a training on how to start business with little or no capital. I think to many of you may be thinking that is a fallacy. No, this is real. You can start your business with little or no capital, depending on the situation, the type of business you are going into, and the entrepreneur involved. Some entrepreneurs, they can get fund or they can start businesses without having cash. There's a way you can do it. There are several ways we do that. So let me take you through. We have a number of them, and I'm going to tell you what you need to do to get this fund. First, the most common, and this I'll tell you that it has been there as human assist, is what is called personal saving. You need a target. We do it even in our day-to-day daily activities. Maybe you need to buy some kitchen items, you need to buy some furniture for your house. We do that. Personal savings. But I'm sure many of you may be wondering that I don't have enough resources. How will I save? You can save. There are some countries in the world today that those countries grow through savings. If I may ask you to eat only once in a day, I know many of you will start telling me that no, it's not possible. There are some countries they take their meals 6 times in a day. I think here what we normally do is 3 times in a day. That's what is common. But we have some other part of the world that they take meals more than 5-6 times in a day. They take it at interval. They don't believe in taking a lump sum. So even with our own situation, apart from food, there are some excesses we do. We all know that. Don't buy what you don't need. That's why when we have money, you have to plan for it. It's not every attractive item or whatever item your friends, your sisters, your family or relatives, your cousins are buying that you have to own. If you are really a determined entrepreneur, just as I've said earlier, you have to sacrifice and you have to be committed and you need to be determined. Determined entrepreneur don't complain about how to source for fund. So the first one, just I've said, is about personal saving. You can save from the little amount you have. I'm sure many of you will be wondering, how is that possible? How can I do it? It involves a lot of discipline. You save from the little you have a target, and when you have reached your target, that money can be used to either start a business or to expand your existing venture. The second one we have is borrowing from friends and relations. We all have relatives. We are in Africa. What we normally do is that we have this like communal way of living. Those are those days. We all stay together communal. If you have a farm in those days when it's time for cultivation, you go with your cousins, your friends, your brothers, you go and do it. That practice too is obtainable now. Your friends, your relatives can really assist you to start a business. I always wonder, though it's a good thing, it's part of our culture, it's part of your society, when people are getting married, you see relatives, friends, they'll contribute to make that marriage a success. That's a very good idea. By which this society we are in, we are models since we are university students, we can have impact in our family. Can we suggest to our family, I'm a graduate, I finished, I learned, maybe I just finished maybe biochemistry, I need some equipment, or I just finished industrial chemistry. I have to go into one or two things, or I'm an educationist. I want to start a preschool somewhere. Our family can really assist us by pulling resources together. If we can pull resources together for a ceremony, burials, funerals, I don't know what they call them, even birthday party, you can imagine what people spend just to celebrate birthday. The same way I think we can pull resources together to finance our businesses. We borrow from our friends and relations. You may be lucky you have a wealthy uncle or you have an auntie that is well to do that can give you money as grants. But I may suggest, even when we are giving people money, we should tell them to repay. Because when you give them, it's like they have seen a free food. No. If you are really determined, you want to go into business, get money from your family and friend and have the intention of paying them back. Is either they give you or they borrow you, they pull resources together, borrow you, then you have the terms of payment. I think by doing that, most of us will stop complaining and the society will get better. Another way is trade credit. That's an area that I so much love, and most time I used to encourage people to do trade credit. But from the society we are now, many of us lack the integrity, we lack the discipline. You see somebody collects your goods, then disappear. Even if it's your relative, you go and look for his father, you go and search for him. Trade credit is a very good way. Kind of, for instance, we have so many markets, the single market, the Korean market, the Wano market. All these are places we can get trade credit from. So I was saying, trade credit is very essential for ventures. It's a way, especially for buying and selling. Buyers can go and meet the seller, or the retailer can meet the wholesaler, then you collect the goods. After you finish selling, you pay back the money. Some may pay back in lump sum, some can offer you weeks, some can even be months. Some can give you up to 3 months to pay back, or whenever you feel it's selling, you pay back. This is what is known as trade credit. It's a very simple way of getting funds for your business. You don't need to get the cash or a loan. For instance, I said we have major markets in Kano. If I'm going to Korean market, I need to buy some laces, or let me say sheda, what they call brocade. I can easily meet one of the dealers there, explain my situation. If they see me credit worthy, at least if I have the integrity, I'm a trusted person, they can extend the trade credit to me. That is an easy way of doing it. I always tell people, if you think of a line of business, and for you to start a business, you need some technical know-how. So you have to learn from people. You have to is either you be an apprentice or you have some mentors. So when you have mentors in that line of business, they will be able to assist you to get to know other people in that same line of business. So when you are looking for trade credit, it's always easy when you know people, when you have network of people or sellers within the industry, they will be able to assist you. So it's a very way, so many people have used this in the past, and people are still using it. Sellers, retailers, wholesaler, they are still using it, and it has been very useful to a lot of business people in society, not only in this country, in other countries of the world. Trade credit has really helped. Another one we'll be talking about is Hakora account. Normally in accounting, they call it account payable. It's just a continuous occurring current liability for businesses. Something like wages, interest, taxes, all these are payable. What this means is that when you are supposed to pay, when the payment are due, you don't pay it, then you defer it. They are due to be paid, but you don't pay. Like now, if I have a tax to pay as a businessman, maybe my company tax, government cannot come and be collecting it January, February, monthly. No. What normally happens is that that money is with you, is within your business. You are going to pay at the end of the year, or maybe as you enter the following year. For instance, in 2021, you have some taxes you need to pay: the tenement rate, some levies from the local government, state government, federal inland revenue. You have those taxes to pay. You don't pay it as at when it is due. Normally, you delay till maybe for 2021. You will be paying it in January or February of 2022. That means it serves as an Hakora account. Those money that is supposed to be removing monthly, or there are some wages supposed to be paying weekly or fortnightly, you defer them to a later date. So that money is still there in your business. You can use it to do your day-to-day running. You can use it for some other expansion or growth purposes. So that's another source of fund. You don't pay immediately, you pay. Another good one is retained earnings. Is a situation whereby the business owner reinvests part of the profit back into the business. You retain your earnings. Earnings, in this case, we are talking about profit or income. You take it back to your, where you make a profit, instead of you to share all, maybe to your partners or your shareholder, you plow it back into your business. These serve as a way of expanding your business. It will grow your business because you don't consume all what you made. You don't share it. You have to take a portion of it. Let's say, for instance, I have a business into agricultural product. I can plow some of my profit back. I planted rice and I was able to make a profit of, let's say, 3.5 million in 2021 planting season. So if I want to expand, maybe I need to get some input, I need to clear my land. I may decide to say, though we have 2, 3, or 4 that owns the farm, but what we are going to do is that we are only going to divide 2 million. After we have removed all our expenses, we have 3.5 million as profit. So we'll only remove 2 million, then we share it among us based on predetermined ratio. The remaining 1.5 million will be put back into business. So if you have like 1.5, it can buy a lot of seedlings, it can buy us some pesticide, it can buy us some fertilizer. So it's a source of fund. That our profit we did not share, that we retain back into our business, is a source of fund for that business. From savings, retained earning, trade credit, other way of financing our business or our ventures. We have what we call equity finance. Equity is the opposite of debt. Equity is when money is put into the business, as maybe you take a loan and you borrow money from people, maybe from your relative or your friends. Now, we talked that we told us earlier, I told you earlier that you can get money for your business from your family and relations. For instance, you get money from your friend. Let's say your friend was able to borrow you 5 billion naira and he asks you to pay back in 5 years. So the first year you were able to pay, you pay 1 million. The money is without interest, we assume. You pay 1 million. Second year you pay 1 million. Let's say the money was given to you in 2017. At the end of 2017 or beginning of 2018, you pay 1 million naira. At the beginning of 2019, you pay 1 million naira. In 2020, you are not able to pay because of the global pandemic. There is, and you're supposed to pay 1 million that year. You were not able to pay. You were not even making sales for that year. So your friend may decide that, so we are now you were not able to pay in 2020. At the beginning of 2021 too, you were not able to pay. Just to relieve you from some of the loans, the friend can say, so why can't you convert my money into equity? Let me be part of the business. So in this case, the money you are supposed to pay your friend for 2020 and 2021, and you are expect to pay another one at the end of 2022. The friend may decide not to take it. So that 3 million is still there in the business as an equity for you. So it's a source of financing your business because the total amount is there now and you don't need to pay it again. It's part of your business fund. This is what most people, when we are talking about fund, most people will always think about bank loan. Bank loan is a very common practice among businesses. Only business that have credibility, only business that can show that they can pay the money back. Excuse me. Bank loan is normally given to businesses that have credit worthiness. Bank normally determine the credit worthiness of their customer. How would bank determine the credit worthiness of their customer? They have some credit criteria they use. They have to determine your character, your capacity, all those things. They will have to determine it. Is when they determine it, they give you the money. Normally, most banks, or I would say conventional banks or commercial banks, give you interest with loan. And normally the interest is fixed at a rate 10%, 15%, 20%, depending on the prevailing rate. Bank give you the money, you go through a lot of paperwork. Some look for collateral, some look for guarantors. All these have to be in place before they can give you the loan. And the money they are giving you and the period will be determined by the terms of the agreement. How much are they going to extend to you? What is the interest rate? When are you expected to pay? So this is a method. Banks are there to bridge the gap between the saver and those that need the money. Some people have excess fund they keep in the bank, while some people are short of fund. So bank is there like a broker between the two. So those that need money to finance business, the money that those that have excess have keep, bank can give you money from there, and normally you pay interest, and the duration is fixed, and the mode of payment is normally fixed at an agreeable period. We also know what we know as project financing. Apart from banks in the financial institution, we have so many other financial entities. Bank also can finance projects, commercial banks, development banks, specialized bank. If you have a particular project you are doing and you don't have the fund available to execute that project, you can approach banks or other financial institutions to give you fund to complete or start or execute the project. That project itself will be like the collateral, the security for what they are giving you. For instance, now if we are to construct maybe a culvert or a road, a feeder road or a tar road somewhere, and the government has given you the permission to do it. So the paper, the document attached to that project, you take it to the bank and the bank will extend you the cash to complete the project. Normally we know there are some projects when they give you to do, they don't pay you immediately, they pay you later. They may pay you in installment. They give you initial deposit, and after completion, that's when you get your final payment, which may not even be immediate. So what bank do is that project serve as security and they extend finance to you. They borrow you the amount to finish the project. Because normally the value of the project is there on the document, they know it, that will determine the amount they are giving you. Because when they pay you as a contractor, so the bank will be the one to collect the money on your behalf. In case you default, the project is still there with the bank, the papers, so that the project itself will liquidate itself. When you finish, when they pay you money, you'll be able to pay back to the bank. Venture, another one is venture capital. This is money invested by individual or venture capital firms. Normally they are wealthy individual, business organization. They have equity participation in your business. Initially we talk about turning debt into equity, that is equity financing. But venture capitalism is not common in this part of the world. If you go to the North Americans, the Europe, and even Asians, they do this a lot. But in this part of the world, it's not common, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. We don't really have them. But in other parts of the world, it's a very good way of financing projects. And they are looking for promising projects. They are looking for ventures that have high growth rate. They are looking for ventures that have high return. They are looking for ventures that have high impact on the society. These are what they do. Those are the way they do is that they are after money, but they need your idea. You have to give them a good idea, a good business plan. So they bring in their money, they are part of your business. They can even give you assistance in forms of training, technical training, management training, so that the business, they are part, and they provide you with financial and other non-financial supports. So that's what venture capitals do. So this is another way with which we can get fund. You as a manager of the management team of the business or the enterprise or the venture, they work with you and they are part of it. They make decisions because their money is there and they see to the success of your business. So that's what venture capital. Who are those that may be venture capitalists? We are wealthy individuals. Some people, they are business people. They have a lot of wealth. They are looking for places to invest different from what they do. Some foreign investors, they come into your country to give you fund to execute some business activities. We have private investment funds. They are ways to invest in businesses that promises that will give back in return. We have the pension fund and we have major corporation. All these are some of the entities that may be interested if we have a promising. Other thing we can use is debt financing. Debt financing. These are funds that business owners borrow and must repay with interest. Debt financing is very good for business in the sense that unlike equity financing that dilutes ownership, that means when you go for equity, somebody is sharing the control, the management, and the profit of your business with you. But in debt financing, you were to pay back the money, though it may have some risk because when you are not really making it in business, and you still need to pay back. But it's a very good avenue for you to seek credit option because of the availability and the flexibility depending on where you are getting the debt from. Is it from commercial banks, commercial entity, or is it the one that is sponsored by government? Normally government used to have some scheme that they give money out to people, to businesses. We have so many of them in place. Even as of 2021, government launched so many debt financing options for businesses. So some are for agri, some are for industry, some are for small businesses. They even have them for individuals. So all these are ways of financing your business. We have commercial papers. Normally, this is a short-time financing source, the source of credit. Commercial papers are unconditional order in writing. Normally, they are in writing, made by one party. The party that is making it is called the drawer. The paper is written and is addressed to another party. That's the second party that is called the drawee. What does the paper, normally the writing, say? He orders the drawee to pay a specific sum of money to another person. That's another person, third party, called the payee. So in this case, we have three people involved in a commercial paper. Normally it's from commercial institutions like banks, financial institutions are the one involved in this type of paper. The drawer addresses it to a second party, that's the drawee, that orders the drawee to pay a certain sum of money, specified money, to a payee. Normally, commercial draft may be a sight or a time draft. That depends. Whichever one it is depends on the negotiation, the terms and conditions of negotiation among the parties. So, for instance, now Mr. A is owing Mr. B. So Mr. A will now ask Mr. B in writing. We ask another person, Mr. C, in writing to pay Mr. B a specific amount based on the terms and conditions of the contract. Commercial draft has been a very source of financing. It has been, and many business people use it. It has really helped so many business. So if you are into business and you have some short form or shortages in your financing, you can approach any of the financial institution to offer you a commercial draft. There is something that is called bankers acceptance. It's usually from banks. It's a credit facility that involves a bank and a customer is normally a time draft payable at a stipulated date. Normally, the businessman make arrangement to produce some goods. These goods are normally for sale. The business person then approaches the bank to draw the acceptance credit paper. That require his bank, that means the banker, to accept the responsibility to settle the bill at a later date. The bank will be the one to accept the responsibility, so they are the one that will be liable to pay a third party. By placing this acceptance on the bill, the bank has accepted a contingent liability to honor the bill when it matures. Normally, a discount house usually evaluate the credit worthiness and reputation of the accepting bank. The maturity date is usually less than 6 months. It is mainly used in international transactions. What this means is that if I'm an importer, or I'm into an import and export of a commodity. Let's say, for instance, a company in Bulgaria, for instance, approached me for some product. Let me say honey or royal jelly, some of the byproduct of bee, and I have my bee in my hives. They are yet to mature, and we have agreed about the times and condition. That man buying from me, because I'm going to make some production for him based on a standard, based on the specification he has given me, can instruct his own bank, a Bulgaria bank, to issue me this banker's acceptance, so that I will be covered whenever I deliver. The bank will pay me. Normally, it's for some months, 90 days, 6 months. That's when they will pay you your money. And for a bank to be accepted in the international trade, normally we have discount houses. These are international evaluators. They evaluate the worthiness of the bank that is ready to pay at maturity. Bill discounting is also a very good source of finance. We are the supplier of goods, write a bill of exchange for the customer for acceptance. Normally, or sometimes, cash are obtained by the supplier, after which the goods have been dispatched to the customer by discounting the bill with the bank or discount house after the bill has been accepted by the debtor, that means the customer. We have so many of them. We have treasury bills, we have treasury certificates. All these are normally issued by Security and Exchange Commission. So, and they have when they mature. Normally what you pay at when the transaction is taking place is normally less than the face value of the paper. So that's why they call it discounting. They will discount for you at that period, and normally it involves financial institutions. When you buy something, you pay something lesser than you. So that discount is a source of finance for you. Just like draft, treasury bills, treasury certificate, we also have commercial paper Like the treasury bills and certificates normally is by the Security Commission, but this commercial paper is by banks, specifically commercial banks. It is normally used to raise short-term funds. What normally happens is that the bank look for an investor. The investor buy the commercial paper, and these issue house serve as a guarantor. Normally, before they do that for you, they will charge you a commission. You have to pay for their service through a coupon rate. And the maturity of this paper is between 90 and 180 days. We told you it's a short-term financing option. It's not for 3 or 5 years. So it's within a year or less than 6 months. That's when the coupon rate and the issue house make up the cost of the commercial paper. Is really within a short period. Is normally used by business people to finance their trade. Bank overdraft. Normally when we open account with bank, there are some they call current accounts. We have savings account, we have credit account. Some they even say they have current salary or savings salary. We have different types, but this current account is common. Bank can allow you to overdraw your account. When you withdraw money from your bank account in excess of your balance, for instance, if you have 5 million in your account as a balance and you need to finance a trade, bank can allow you to withdraw 6 million. You only have 5 million when you check your balance, but you can withdraw 6 million naira. Normally you negotiate with your banker or the bank manager, and you take something excess of what you have in your bank account. Note that it's not all customer that can be given bank overdraft. It depends on your standard relationship. How is your capacity as a businessman? They must have assessed you before they can give you that. They allow you, and it's normally for a short period. You withdraw more than what you have as balance in your account. Before bank give you an overdraft, there are so many factors they consider. You have to show them a paper, maybe it's an emergency fund. Maybe you're expecting some goods, or you want to clear some goods from your clearing agent, and you don't have the money. They have to know what are you using the fund for. They cannot just give you. Or you are short, you want to pay for some business transaction and you are short of cash. They will consider that. You must tell them what you need it for, and they have to confirm you are using it for their purpose, not for any other purpose. Then how is your character like? That's why I say your long-standing relationship with the bank will determine then the financial position of your business. Someone that in a year what he can deposit in the bank is 500,000. No bank will give him an overdraft of 1 million. So they have to see your financial position and your ability to pay. Do you have the capacity? Normally, overdraft don't have security, but when the amount is too large, they may need some form of collateral. So they allow you to go with their fund, but you drop some collateral if you have withdrawing something like. So what are you using their money for? I'm short of cash. I see a business opportunity. Who are you? Are you trustworthy? What is the management and financial position? Do you people really manage fund when your organization? What do you make per day, daily, monthly, annually? They have to know, and will you be able to pay? And lastly, if the money is too large, that requires a collateral security. You can get money through overdraft if you are a trustworthy entity. We have inventory financing. is normally used in inventory or stock. What we mean by stock is goods that you produce. They are somewhere. Those are what is called inventory or stock. They are normally used in inventory or stock as collateral security for borrowing fund. If I'm into maybe production of textile material or maybe some plastics, and I have them in my warehouse, what really happens is that I can keep those stock with my lender. The financial institution that is giving money is under their control. So they now give me money maybe to buy some input raw material, or I may need it for some logistic purpose, but my stock will serve like a collateral. Note that not all stock are qualified for such transaction. Something that is not marketable, that it may be there for, in case of your default, your stock is with them, your goods are with them. If you default, they will like sell out your goods and recover their money. But not all stock meet this or qualify for this transaction. Whichever stock you are given must be marketable, something that we can easily look for who needs and want it at the particular time, and we get our cash. It's durable. It's not something that is easily perishable. And it's not a good that the price fluctuates easily. You know, some products, they may be 10 naira today, and tomorrow you see them 7 naira. I think it should be stable. So if you are going for inventory financing, your stock or the inventory you are using must be marketable, durable, and there should be price stability of such commodity or such goods. Borrowing from cooperative societies. Cooperative society is an association established by a group of individuals who pool their resources together to engage in a business transaction for profit making, mainly for the benefit of members. Look at that phrase, mainly for the benefit of members. What we mean by cooperative society is that people with mutual interest, with common interest, two or more individual comes together, they pool their resources. We are talking about resources, apart from the financial, even the human resources involved. They pool their resources together to assist one another. You can raise money from cooperative society for your business. Normally you can pay back 6 months, 1 year, 18 months, 20 years, depending on the capacity of such cooperative. Some cooperatives charge very low interest, while some don't even charge interest at all. But if you're looking at it compared to other financial institutions, mainly banks, their interest is low because it's jointly owned by the beneficiaries. You pull your resources together, they extend it to some people. It's a very common practices that we have in our society, especially among women. Many businesses spring up today from cooperative funds. Cooperative societies has really helped many. I would like to share an experience, I will call it a scenario with you. About 20 years ago, when we are doing our service, that's what they call NYSC. There was a friend. We both graduated from BUK together. We both served in Kano then. So what he did is that the place he was doing his primary assignment, they were paying them, at least the pay was fair. The federal allowance was there, and he has some local allowance from the local government, and I think some other maybe private business, I don't know, maybe. So that year, that was 20 years ago. That year he joined, what he joined, we can call it cooperative, because the people that came together then, they have mutual interest. They were able to save like 10,000 naira per month, and there were 10. After 10 months, after each month, when you put 10, 10 in 10 places, that's 100,000, was given to individuals. So they all collect that 10, 100,000 naira based on the arrangement. So his own, then he collected his 100,000. We just finished from the university, and he was able to join a cooperative society. So what he did then is that he was going to, I think, Aba or Onitsha to the east to get some things. He will go to Lagos and get some things and bring them down to Kano for sales. At the end of the day, what he told me is that wherever he goes, he buys. He takes things from Kano to Aba, Onitsha, take things from Kano to Abuja, go down to Lagos, bring some other things. That was what he was doing. But today, I'll tell you, he started his business with an 100,000 20 years ago through a cooperative society. Today, he's an international businessman. He takes product to Dubai, Turkey, some other parts of Asia. I think he has customers everywhere. And he goes to other countries too to bring things in. So he's a multi-millionaire now in Naira, and he started that business from cooperative society. Hire purchase, we often had it, especially people in the transport industry. We used to hear the word hire purchase. Hire purchase is used when purchasing some asset. It can be vehicles, that's why I said vehicles, cars, lorries, tricycles, motorcycles. They use hire purchase in that. We use them in machinery for production, for processing. In our farms, we use machinery. We can't get them through hire purchase. Equipment in our laboratories, hospitals, we use hire purchase. So it's normally used for plants, equipment, machinery, vehicle, and the like. Normally, you deposit some amount and you pay the remaining in installment. But there is one advantage with this type of finance. At the end of the period when you agree between one, is normally a medium term agreement between 1 and 3 years, that equipment becomes yours. Like in the case of vehicles, some they may tell you to pay weekly, fortnightly, or monthly, but before you get it, you have an initial deposit. If you meet a person giving a hire purchase, let's say it's a vehicle of 3 million naira, he may tell you that come with 1 million naira. The remaining 2 million will maybe spread like for 3 years or 2.5 years. So let's say in 24 months or 30 months, you'll be able to pay it monthly, fortnightly, depends on the agreement with the person. So, but at the end of the day, if you are able to fulfill your obligation, that means you pay all the dues, the machinery or the vehicle become yours. But on the legal term, if you are not able to pay based on agreement of hire purchase, you may be in the possession of the product, but you are not the owner until you finish paying the installment. But the moment you finish paying installment, order the contract, the law of contract, so that equipment become yours. And that's the way. You only give little amount. Let's say I need a tractor on my farm now, and I don't have the money to buy the tractor. A good one is expensive. The one that will plow, harrow, harvester, that I can attach it to it, and I need it. I'll just I'll meet those that will give me. I'll give them a little money. they will now have an agreement and I'll pay at installment. At least for years, maybe 1 to 3, I'll be able to work on my farm without stress. And at the end of the day, the equipment. Leasing is another form that we can use to source for fund. A lease is an agreement whereby the owner manager, that's what we call the lessee, undertakes to make regular monthly payment to a financial institution. The financial institution is known as the lessor in return for the use of equipment belonging legally to the latter. The equipment belongs to the lessor, but the lessee made the lessor to make use of his equipment. The lessee is normally the business owner, the entrepreneur, the owner manager, and is going to be paying the lessor at a monthly basis. So what this is saying is that the leasing instrument is used by the manager or the owner to finance equipment, which may also be a vehicle. Operating leases function in such a way that leasing company retain ownership and scale risk associated with the equipment. Although it's compulsory to have an insurance, but the maintenance, the risk is vested by the leasing company, that's the lessor. The lessor is therefore both the financial and the legal ownership of the equipment. When the tenure of the lease ends, the lessee can decide to elect to purchase the equipment for a sum which must represent at 10% of the cost of the equipment. So the lessor may decide to sell the equipment for you or not. But if it's selling, it must represent at about 10% of the initial cost of the equipment. In leasing agreement, we need to note some of these following important points. Ownership of the asset does not rest with the business until the asset is sold at residual value at the end of the contract. 2, capital allowances may be claimed by the lessee, that means the leasing company, but not by the business. The leasing company can claim capital allowance, but not the business owner or the manager. Lease payments are tax deductible, that is, passed as expenses in profit and loss account. You must deduct tax from lease equipment from your profit and loss account. Leasing does not normally affect borrowing capacity unless financial legislation requires balance sheet to reflect leasing finance. Period of repayment matches expected life of the asset. If the asset is expected to have a tenure of 10 years, the lease agreement should be in that 10 years. If it's 5 years, it should be there. And after the purchase, lastly, it is required that there should be immediate use of the asset. These are some of the points is backed by the law that if you are going for lease and leasing, you have to understand the lease agreement. Factoring. Factoring is a finance source. Is a method of financing that are used by business owners. This allows a business owner to raise funds based on the value of his or her invoice yet to be paid. You have an invoice that you are yet to be paid. You can use that invoice to raise funds. That is what is called factoring. Under factory arrangement, an entrepreneur can outsource their sales ledger. They can outsource their sales ledger operations and maximize the use of sophisticated credit rating system for their funding. Factoring arrangement can be with or without recourse. If it's with recourse, the factor company collects the amount due from other means upon the default of the debtor. And when it's without recourse, the factor company bears the consequence upon default of the debtor. So in factoring, the agreement can be in two forms: with or without recourse. If it's with recourse, the factor company bears the risk. But if it's without recourse, if it's with recourse, the amount to be collected is due from the debtor. But without recourse, the factor company bears the consequence upon the default of the debtor. In factoring arrangement, an agreed proportion of the invoice, that is the face value of the invoice, of about 80% will be paid within a pre-arranged time, let's say like 12 hours, 24 hours, 78 hours. In return, the factor issue receipts on behalf of the organization upon the collection of payments. We have looked at so many sources of financing issued by commercial banks, the one we can get from friends and family, the one we can form cooperative to get. But in Nigeria, for instance, if you look at the activities or the operations of the commercial banks, governments over the years realized that small business owner, especially startup, cannot get funds to finance their business from the commercial banks. So many efforts have been made in the past to come up with banks that will help the masses, the small business owners. There was a time we have the People's Bank, but presently what we have in Nigeria, we have what we call microfinance banks. Microfinance banks was established about 17 years ago in 2005 by the Act 24. It was from the CBN Act, which was later amended in 1991. BOFIA, the Bank and Other Financial Institution Act of 2021, amended the Act, and the activities or what is required of microfinance banks as clearly spelled out. The mandate or the objective of such bank was to promote monetary stability and a sound financial system in the country. We want people to be included. We want to avoid financial exclusion, especially for youth, young people, young entrepreneur, promising entrepreneur. We want to avoid financial exclusion of women. We want to avoid financial exclusion of rural people. So because of that, this bank was established to get closer to the people. The establishment of the microfinance banks is meant to expand the financial infrastructure of the country so as to meet the financial requirement of the micro, small, and medium enterprises. Three features distinguish microfinance from other formal financial products. One, the feature of microfinance banks are: one, the smallest of loans advance or savings collected. Normally, I told you, young people, rural people, women are their target, so the loans they give are normally small. The absence of asset-based collateral. They have other form of collateral you can bring, but they try to avoid the asset base. Go and bring the paper to your father's land, go and bring a paper to your building, and the operation is always simple. There is simplicity in the operation of microfinance banks. It involves less paperwork, it involves less formality. We have public offering. These are for big organization, registered, limited companies. When they want to raise more funds for their business, you with your friend, you come up, you follow the Corporate and Affairs Commission's regulation, you register your company as a limited company. And you now realize that the fund at hand is little and you want to grow your business. That means there is a need for expansion. When there is need for expansion and you want to offer your shares to the public, to everybody, to be part owner of your business, that means you want to go public. That's when the issue of public offerings come in. In about 15 years ago in this country, we have seen a lot of businesses that offer shares to the public. Normally, when you are offering your shares at the first time, they call it initial public offer. Many of them raise money from the capital market, from people, investors, individuals at that point, because they want to go public. In 2007-8, around that time, that was when Dangote Flour, Dangote Sugar, they went to public. They opened their shares to the public, let people subscribe and buy into their business. However, before a company decides to use public offering as financing mean, certain factors needs to be considered. Those factors that need to be considered are the cost of the security, other financial obligation of the business, the prospect of the money market, issues concerning the ownership and control of the business. The company need to consider all this before they can issue their shares out. Public offering brings a lot of fund to the public. From the public, you can attract fund. We have seen so many IPOs that were oversubscribed and the company has to return back money to investors. What they will do is that they will allocate the share based on pro rata, and excess is going back to the investor. So the people can really get money. It's not as an organization, limited company, registered company can get money through public. So when we are talking about shares, they open their shares to be public. Shares comes in two forms. We have the ordinary shares, we have the preference shares. You can buy any, both has its own advantage and disadvantage. Also, when we have public offering, we have what we call debentures. Here, people buy bonds from the company. They are like creditors to the company. The company is owing them. They buy into the business. They pay them based on predetermined rate. But shareholders are part of the business. They share from the dividend. Preference shareholders too share for the. But one good thing about preference shareholder is that it's just a bridge between a debenture and the ordinary shareholder. In case of liquidation, the debenture holder gets their money first. If there is excess, the preference shareholders get. If there is excess, the ordinary shareholder will get. But in case after sharing to the debentures holders, the preference shareholders, and there is no essence, the ordinary shareholders are the last to be paid in case of liquidation. Preference shareholders is a mix of shares and debenture because their shares has a specific percentage of dividends that they require to be paid at the end of each financial year. Now, apart from banks and other financial institutions, government worldwide, I'll use the word worldwide, our own national government, international government, they have done a lot to small businesses. Many international organizations have created funds mainly for small business owners. There is one thing I always tell people. I said Nigeria and Nigerians, Nigeria is a special place and Nigerians are special. Why are we special? We are special in Africa and in the world we are special. International organizations, foreign nationals, countries all over the world are interested in us. We have the market, we have the people, we have the resources. Because they know this is a place that you can make impact, the people are there, the resources are there. Many international organizations have funds. When I mean funds, I told you funds means money, capital to start your business, but we call them funds in business because it's meant for business. It's not just money for social event. This is money to generate more money. This is money to have impact on the society. So a lot of international organizations are ready to give funds to Nigerians. At the same time, our own government, the government of Nigeria, has developed so many initiatives to help small businesses generate funds for their business. What I want you to know is that you, as an aspiring entrepreneur, you as a small business owner, you that you are thinking of creating a small venture, bear in mind that there are so many institutions out there that your government has put in place, the government of Nigeria, the federal government, to assist your business. The CBN is there. They have a lot of initiative. Just try to go to the CBN website. You are going to see funds available for small businesses. We have the Small and Medium Industry Equity Investment Scheme. This is a scheme that came up because of small businesses. The scheme is there to help small businesses. And what are they there? They want to support you. And the major support is fund. We have the NAFUND, that's the National Economic Reconstruction Fund. From the name is about fund. We have National Bank for Commerce and Industry. We have the Small Scale Industry Credit Scheme. So many initiatives, so many schemes are just there to cater for the shortage in fund of small businesses, micro, small and medium enterprises of whatever sector can approach all these schemes and you'll be able to get the fund for your. So we have been talking about fund. Some of these funds can be regarded as internal sources and while others are external sources. For instance, savings is an internal source. You can save in your business and you get more. Payables, accrual is internal source. But if we are talking about external source, going for debt financing, going to borrow from either commercial or microfinance bank, all these are external sources. Your retained earning is an internal source. Internal financing is a source using its profit as a source of capital for new investment. rather than distributing them out. You are still using part of your money or your profit to expand your business. While the external source, you are bringing money from outside into your business. External financing is a phrase used to describe funds that firm obtain from outside. Both have their own advantage and disadvantage. The advantage of internal source of finance are these: since it's within your business, the capital is immediately available. You don't pay interest, and such fund is within. You don't need to pay interest. There is no control procedure, there's no paperwork, no formality. Nobody cares about your credit worthiness. You are the owner, you take the money within your business. No third party influence. You don't need to wait for bureaucracy, because before you can make decision, you make decision within your business. Internal source of fund has its own disadvantage. One of them is that it's somehow expensive. It doesn't really increase your capital because the money is inside the business. It's not as flexible as external. That is not that deductible. Government is not gaining from you, and it is limited in volume because what you can raise is normally small. Then we go to the issue of formal and informal sources of fund. The funds we have described, some of them are formal, some are informal, just like some are internal source and some are external source. Formal sources of fund represent those institutions that are registered with appropriate authority to transact the business of finance with entrepreneurs. Example of such source of fund includes loan from commercial banks, insurance companies, we have trust, we have issuing house, we have finance institutions. All of these are there. They are registered, they are regulated by authorities to give entrepreneurs, small business owner fund. The informal sources of fund are provided outside the authority or the supervision and regulation of government. Example includes groups of individuals that are involved in loan disbursement with little or no formal regulation. We have in our market, we used to have Isusu, we have savings schemes, we have cooperative society. But bear in mind, we have hybrid cooperative society. If you go to Ministry of Commerce of, I think, all states, you have to, there is a provision that if you want some form of formal recognition, some form of government support, you have to register your cooperative society. But we still have so many of them not registered, maybe about farmers, about retail, so many cooperative, but there are some that are registered. So cooperative society, we can say, is an hybrid of both formal and informal. These are the advantages of each source of fund. The formal source of fund, we have some advantage. This type of fund provide the entrepreneur or the owner or the manager with proper guidelines and documentation for loans. Unlike when you go to just maybe a market, there is a money lender, you go and collect money, there is no proper documentation. There may be some disagreement at the end of the day, which may lead to litigation. So in that case, to avoid such thing, formal source of finance is properly guided. They have their guidelines. You go through a lot of documentation. They know your capacity, your credit worthiness, your character. You follow the process. Also, one other advantage of formal source of fund is that business advisory is always provided by the bank to the business. Advising, technical, operation, they advise you on what to do. So you still have some other advantage. You meet a financial institution in formal source, Apart from extending the fund to you, they guide you. It's like they are managing the fund to you. They don't want you to put it in the wrong investment. They guide you. They provide some other service to you. So that's which money lenders will not do for you. They just give you the money. They come and knock your door, bring back our money. They don't even know what you do with the money. But banks are always interested in you making the proper utilization of the money given to you. Also, it helps the entrepreneur to stay focused on the business because of interest rate. One, you have gone through a lot of documentation. They know you. Second, they are giving you advice, and you have to pay back the money with interest. So that makes you focus. That makes you to become more committed to your business. So that's one of the advantage of this source of fund. The informal source of fund has its own advantages too, because it helps entrepreneur to have easy access to funding. Instead of it to say go and bring asset-based collateral, go and bring guarantors, go and bring some other things, document. We need your BVN, we need your NIN, we need this and that. The informal source eliminates all those protocols. It eliminates all those paperwork. It eliminates all those formality. So you can easily get the fund from an informal source easily. You don't have to do a lot of documentation even if you are looking for loan. At the same time, entrepreneurs do not stand the risk of loss of asset or business to the institution. Since you do not provide collateral, you don't have any asset with them. Even when you default, they have other ways of retrieving back their money. But in case of the former source, you are giving them their asset, you can lose your asset through that process. The other time we discussed about venture capital. Venture capital is really moving the world. It is a viable source of fund for business. But unfortunately, it's not common in this part of the world. Venture capital fund is described as pool of capital constituted for investing in relatively high-risk opportunities. This type of fund is looking for high-growth investment. It's looking for ventures that promise growth. It provides long-term committed share capital to help unquoted company to grow and succeed. I told you that if you are registered in Nigeria you register your company as a limited company, and you are going for public offering, which can be shares or debentures. You can raise fund. But for those companies that are small, that they cannot meet the requirement of going to public, venture capital because they are not quoted company, they can grow through the use of venture capital fund. The venture capitalists make money by owning equity in the company they invest in. This is known as equity participation. They are part ownership of your company. Normally, companies usually have novel ideas such as biotech, IT, software, even agriculture. We have so many breakthroughs now. If you can do that, you have a good idea, a promising idea, a growth venture, or a business that has high potential. These are the type of business that venture capitalists are interested in. Something unique, something novel. Bear in mind, each individual has his own unique concept. The only thing is that maybe some situational factor or the environment may not have made you to discover that. But to the venture capitalists, even if you don't have the fund, the moment they see your business plan and the idea there, I'll call it, is superb, is excellent, they will be interested to fund your business. They will be part of it. Not only providing the fund, they will support you in whichever way that will make your business successful. They have a lot of criteria they use in deciding the type of business they venture into, the type of business they want to support, the type of business they want to put their fund in. Typically, they are very selective in deciding where to invest in. Yet, the sought after qualities such as innovation, something unique, new, you have to think outside the box. You have to be creative. They are looking for quality, innovative technology that has the potential for rapid growth. A well-developed business model. You have to develop a model that internationally will be recognized, internationally will be impressive. And impressive management teams. Who are those in your team? Who are those that manage the business? Not just anybody. We need experts. We call this a team. We need people from various backgrounds that matters to that business, that will make the business grow. Of these qualities, funds are mostly interested in venture with exceptionally high growth potential. They are likely to provide financial return and successful exit event within the required time frame. Normally, 3 to 7 years they give you. They put their money, they need growth, and by then they have a successful exit. In venture capitalists, normally we have 6 stages. They can finance any of this stage of venture or business. They can give you seed money. Seed money. Just take your mind back to your elementary agric. If they said we have a seed, this is just a seed. It has not turned to seedling. This is a seed. They can give you a seed money. Seed money is just like a concept. This is low level financing needed to prove a new idea, often provided by angel investors. They are interested in new idea, what people don't think of, something that is impactful to the society. When you have it, they can give you seed money to promote a new idea. Secondly, the money or the fund that come into in forms of startup capital. This stays though with firms that are in the early stage that need funding for expenses associated with marketing and product development. You want people to know about your product. Marketing, you determine the needs and the wants of your target market. How will you do that? You need a lot of funds. So in this case, startup can get money from venture capitalists to take care of the expenses of marketing and product development. Product development involves so many stages which require a lot of money, so they are there to give you. They can be useful at the first round. First round normally to organization or companies or business covers sales and manufacturing is fund at the early stage. The early stage of your business, you need money for sales and manufacturing, equipment, raw materials. How do you take your project out, logistic, maybe some vehicles, some other stuff. So that's the first round. Second round include funds that are used for financing of working capital at the early stage company. They are selling product or service but make little or no profit from the business. So you want to finance your working capital. This is the second round. The third round involves the expansion money for a new profitable business. At the second round, you don't really make profit. They give you the fund to make your day-to-day operation. By the third round, they give you money for expansion. You're making profit, you're making headway. The last one is called bridge financing. That's the fourth round. This is used for financing companies that want to go public. So these are the 6 stages: seed money, startup, first round, second round, third round, and the fourth round. We have so many types of venture capital. They differ in their approach. They have certain factors that influence their operation and decision. Some of these are: some venture capital firms tend to invest in new ideas. Others prefer investing in established companies that need support to go public. So if you have seen one or you come across one, you have a new idea, and you were like saying, we're taught that venture capitalists are interested in innovative idea, unique idea. That's true, but some of them may not really be interested at the initial stage. They want companies that are already into the business and they are looking for growth or expansion. Some invest solely in certain industry. You may say, okay, I have an idea in agriculture, but you meet one, they may be interested in IT. They may be interested in software development. They may be interested in robotics. In that case, they are not going to invest in your company. Also, some prefer operating locally, while others will operate nationwide or even globally. If you go to some states in the United States, you may meet some venture capitalists. Maybe what they are interested is just in a particular state. Let's say Texas. That's where they operate. Some may operate in the whole of United States. Some may say we are only interested in North America, and that means in the United States and Canada. Some may operate only in Europe. Why you see some, they are interested. Whichever place you are, African, Asia, they can take care of your needs. And lastly, some may want a quicker public sale of the company or expect fast growth. The amount of help a venture capital provide can vary from one firm to the next. It depends on your need. Some they will give more, some they give less. Depends on the need of the type of business you do. Is what interested and how much they think they can give that they will use to help you. What are the sources of finance for venture capital firms? Normally, some people come together, they pull resources from different areas so that they will have that fund to cater for other businesses, especially new businesses with good ideas. So they get their funds or they raise their funds from external sources such as pension fund scheme. They get from insurance companies, mutual funds, public offerings from interested investors, and they also do what we know as private placement. In venture capitalists, we have so many positions. And the ones we have venture partners. Venture partners are expected to source potential investment opportunity, and they are typically compensated for only those deals with which they are involved. You are a partner in the business, go and look for promising ideas, and when you bring it, we finance them. We only pay you for the business you have brought to the organization, to the firm. We have other ones like the principal. This is a mid-level investment professional position, often considered as partner's track position. Principal venture capitalists, they are usually promoted from a senior associate position or who have commensurate experience in another field, such as investment banking or management consulting. Normally, they use those that have experience. They work in the banking and they have experience in investment. And we have the management consultants. These are people that venture capital firms use as principals. We have the associate. This is typically most junior apprentice position within a venture capital firm. After a few successful years, an associate may move up to senior associate position, and potentially principal and beyond. Associates will often have worked for 1 to 2 years in another field, such as investment banking and management consulting. The one we have here, we have entrepreneurship in residence. Those are another position in venture capital firms. Entrepreneur in residence are experts in a particular domain and perform due diligence on potential deals. Entrepreneur in residence are engaged by venture capital firms temporarily. They are there temporarily, often between 6 to 18 months, and are expected to develop and pitch startup ideas to their host firm, although neither party is bound to work with each other. Some entrepreneur in residence move to the executive position within a portfolio company. So you can be an entrepreneur in residence and you can later move to be an associate, a principal, or a venture partner. Even some entrepreneur can seek position in this area, in these firms, in this industry, because they are there to assist small business in the society. Before a venture capital firm can invest in any business, they need some of this information. These information are important to them. They can't just come and invest in your business. You need to provide them this information. Do you have a good business plan? I always tell people, you need money, you want to meet a bank, you want to meet an investor. Where is your business plan? And not just a business plan. We need a good business plan. A business plan that has conform with all the regularity, the procedure of a business plan. Your management is there, how do you source for human resource, your raw material, your finance, who are your bankers, your statement of account. You have to follow the procedure. If you have a good business plan, the money is out there for you. I will tell you a story. About 7-8 years ago, I'm not really sure the exact year, I was at home. A colleague called me. She said, Shukrat, do you have a business plan? I was wondering, Manama, what are you doing with a business plan? She said, there are some people, I think they are international organization, they came, they are interested in high growth businesses of women. They are only interested in female, and they need educated female, at least female that is educated, that's the word they use. And they need women that are less than 40 years then, and they need a business plan. So at that point I said, when is the deadline? He said, no, they are closing tomorrow. I said, wow, I don't have a business plan, but I don't think I can have one within 2 days. So based on what happened then, since then I have business plans, because opportunity may come at any point. And do you know one thing? At that point, they are ready to give anyone with a good business plan 50 million naira. It was a grant, it was never a loan. So a good business plan is a way to access fund. Secondly, they have to know your technical know-how of the promoter of the business. You want to go into agriculture or a high-tech business, an IT or a software, and you don't have the technical know-how, no venture capitalists will look at your idea. They need people that know what they are doing. Even if the idea is good, the promoter, those of you that are pushing for that business, who are you? What do you know? What knowledge do you have about the area or business? The product or the service you are proposing from your plan, is it commercially viable? I told you they are after profit, they are after growth, so they will look at that. They want sustainability. They don't want business that you start and you pack up tomorrow. No, we need a sustainable business, and that's what venture capitalists stand for. In the world today, we are talking about sustainability. And when business are not sustainable, the society is not going to sustainable, the economy will be affected, and the country is in doom. So when we have sustainable businesses, we know automatically we are going to have a sustainable economy. So they want to know whether management have the ability to exploit this potential and control the company through the growth phases. Business pass through a lot of growth phases. They have a cycle. Can you be able to manage those cycles? They want to know. Again, they are interested in forecasting techniques and accuracy of past forecasting. They are interested in assumption on which financial assumptions are based. The latest available accounts, including companies' cash debtors position, they want to know. They want to know the bank facility you have taken and your leasing agreement, your pension funding, the contract that you have with your employees. Does the possible reward justify the risk? They will get to know. And again, they want to know, does the potential financial return on the investment meet their investment criteria? Now, some of you will ask a question: how is venture capitalist different from banks? Banks provide terms loan and working capital limit to companies. The company has to make interest payment and pay back the principal with stipulated time frame. Whereas in comparison with venture capital subscribe to equity share of a company for a stake. They have a stake, they have an interest, is equity participation in the company at a negotiated valuation. That's what they do. That is the different. Bank give you a loan, they want you to pay back with interest, while venture capitalists, they are interested in equity share in your company. We said earlier that we have government initiative on SMEs. And SMEs is important to any economy because they improve the growth and development, not only in developing economy, even in the advanced economy. If you look at countries in some Asia country, Europe, America, SMEs has really developed their economy. Several efforts have been done in the past by the government and international agency. I said that earlier. Why are they doing this? They want to achieve job creation. They want to alleviate poverty. They want to improve the supply skills. They want to improve infrastructure of the economy. That's why we have the small and medium equity investment scheme. It was by Central Bank, and that persuaded the bankers committee in 2000 to agree to set aside 10% of its annual profit before tax for equity investment in small and medium scale enterprises. To ensure the effectiveness of the program, banks are expected to identify, guide, and nurture enterprises to be financed under the scheme. You guide them, you nurture them, you support them, technical skills, financial skills, technical support, operational support, they give it to them. The activities targeted under the scheme include agro-allied, if you are into agricultural and related industry, this scheme is for you. If you are into information and telecommunication business, information technology is for you. If you are into communication, the fund is for you. If you want to manufacture process, this fund is for you. If you want to establish an educational institution, this fund is for you. If you are going to tourism and leisure hospitality industry, they are waiting for you. Go and get the fund there. If you are going to go into extraction of minerals, they are there for you. Mineral extraction, mineral sector, you are going there. The mineral, we have the raw minerals, they are good looking for you, the solid one. Construction businesses, they are waiting for you. This scheme was launched in August 2001. 2001 is a long year, over 2 decades. So this scheme is there for you to go and access fund. Make them an asset fund. It's CBN that mandated the committee of bankers to set aside their money to invest in your business. So make this fund and get your money. There is there the money is available for you. The Bank of Rural Development, they are after agriculture, cooperative and rural development. They too they were there to support businesses in agriculture. The loan is there for you, Nigerians. They also offer target saving, loan for startup venture, and smallholder loan scheme. They are there. You can sell with them. You can get loan for startup. They have so many initiatives. They are set up to finance agriculture. So for those of us into agriculture, this is where we can go. Nigeria Agricultural, Cooperative and Rural Development Bank. Also made the Bank of Industry. I think these ones over the years, there were a lot of initiative, BOI. They go to radio station, TV station. They tell us what they do in our local languages. Even the people in the villages know about BOI, Bank of Industry. What are they doing? The objective is to provide credit to industrial sectors, which includes small businesses. So, Bank of Industry has, over the years, they have expended billions of naira to small businesses and they are still giving. So, you can meet them and access funds. We have the refinancing and rediscounting facility. This is also by CBN in 2002 to offer financial assistance to concessionary interest rate. They are going to give you at a lower interest rate to support medium to long-term bank lending to the real sector of the economy. The primary objective of this program is to provide liquidities to banks in support of the financing of the productive sector activities of Nigerian economy. This was meant to bridge the gap in financing projects that are mainly long-term, since banks mainly give short-term loan and loan to commerce and trade. These medium and long-term business operators who are involved in productive sectors of the economy are to be encouraged through this facility. This is a loan facility. It's given at discounting rate. It's given to all sectors of the economy and is there for a medium to long term, just to take care of the shortfall from the commercial bank that normally give money in short time. If you really want real development, you have to give money in the medium or long term. That's when the organization will grow. But in the short term, it will not really have much effect like the long-term fund. So this scheme is there to give money to businesses in the real sector in the long term period. We have the small scale industry credit scheme. This tool is for small businesses. It's a revolving grant by federal and state government to assist the need of small scale enterprises. We also have the Nigerian Bank for Commerce and Industry. Is an apex institution for financing SMEs in addition to its normal banking operations. The bank also administers the Federal Ministry of Industry Special Fund. This is an old industry that has a special fund for small-scale enterprises to secure loans from the bank to finance a particular project. The applicant for such loan must fulfill the bank's requirement to secure at least 20% of the investment from his own personal resources to show commitment. They are there. The Nigerian Bank for Commerce and Industry, NBCI, is there to finance you, but you have to show commitment. Provide 20% of your investment and they give you the 80%. You can approach them as a source of fund for your business. We also have the NAF Fund. That's a federal government initiative to boost SMEs and industrialization in Nigeria. The fund is crucially important policy instrument to stimulate is a stimulant for stimulation of various SME, various small and medium scale industries and agro-allied enterprises for economic development. We are an agrarian society. Most of the thing we do is about agric. NAFUND is there to give you money for your agric enterprises and also other small businesses. World Bank facility, just as I said earlier, apart from the one we have nationally, we have so many international. I think the international fund that is coming to Nigeria for small businesses is more than the national fund. But I told you earlier, you need a good business plan to access these funds, and you need the right information, and you need the right network, the right people that will give you the right information. So the World Bank facility, in order to promote the growth of SME, the federal government also negotiated further financial assistance with the World Bank to complement other sources of funds for SMEs. This involved a loan of $270 million is to be made available for on lending to SME through eligible participating banks. The SMEX is managed directly by SMEX Apex Unit Loan Scheme located in the Central Bank of Nigeria. So Central Bank of Nigeria has fund. There is money there. That's what I just want you to know. They have so many schemes. Approach them, give you your business plan, follow the formality. And the good news now is that most of the schemes, the fund, you can access them, the application online. But you need a good business plan. You need a good idea. You can access them online. You go to their website. The funds are there. You click on decide. You registered. You follow the procedure. One thing that one mistake most of you may make is that you just go to a business center to apply for a loan. No, it's wrong. Most of us, as a mobile phone, you have your PC. You can use your portable device. Go into the system, follow the guidelines. Many of these business centers, they are there to make money. They don't follow guidelines. So you have to do it by yourself, or you ensure they do the right thing. Go there, follow the guideline, tell them what you have. We have, for those of you that are into international business, this is for you. You have the Nigeria Export and Import Bank. They call them NEXIM. Their headquarters is in Abuja. NEXIM was established in 1990 to manage a number of credit facilities introduced specifically to boost non-export sector. The establishment of NEXIM was also intended to support farmers and other small-scale exporters to have direct access to international markets. The facilities offered by NEXIM include export stimulation loan. Can you imagine? They want to stimulate export. They have export stimulation loan. They have the foreign facility. They have the refinancing and rediscounting facility. All these initiatives and many more are coming daily. So meet NEXIM, the NEXIM Bank. Various financing methods of SMART could be loan and bank overdraft. These are for exporters, important exporters. They are there to showcase our product. Mostly people in agri, see people going out with even vegetable, ugu, if you know ugu, what they call the pumpkin leaf. Sesame, ready. Hibiscus, that is zobo, or what do we call it? They go out with it. So if you have any of this product you want to take outside, NEXIM is there to finance you. They are there to finance it. Just approach them, the source of finance. So alhamdulillah, at least we have seen some of the ways of financing. This is an online class. I believe many of you have gained one or two things. I'm Dr. Shukura Bello. Normally, I take sources of finance. I can call myself a consultant in looking for funds. I will refer to myself, I'm a consultant in this field. And when you need money, is one of the nightmare of entrepreneurs. I'm a consultant. I've consulted for a lot of entrepreneurs, business owner on the way to go about fund. I've taught sources for fund as an EEP course over the years. Apart from what I've told you, in Nigeria today, both the private and the public sector, within the government and the informal sector, we have a lot of way you can look for funds. I attended a conference last year in November in Abuja. The conference is about money, funds. The former emir or the former ministers, present minister of finance, emirs, governors of states, so many people were at the conference. They talk I'll say the lacrim of the Nigerian society, the lacrim of the financial industry of Nigeria. We even have participants from outside this country. The conference is about fund. You have an hospital, you have a school, you have a construction, you are into estate development. That conference is mainly about fund. And apart from that, I've attended a lot of conferences within and outside the country to share ideas and learn from others. This is not the only way to learn about how to get money. You need to talk to people. If you have questions, that's my email. You can reach out to me. You can also send your questions through this module. That will assist me to answer some queries, some things that are not clear. And one thing I want you to understand is that interest, we talk about loan, interest has not really done much for us. Even in the international world, in the international financial arena, we have what we call about ethical financing. That's what the world is preaching now. There are so many funds available there that conform with ethical financing. Interest has not really grown our society. We have told you it has its own disadvantage compared to maybe venture capitalists or equity financing or going to cooperative society. So interest has not really helped much. So we have so many ethical funds out there, the green investment, the halal investment, we have the responsible investment. We have so many of them. So these are some of the options we can use to finance our businesses. Particularly, I'll encourage us, let's learn how to save. Save. I'll repeat it, save. Saving is, without savings, you cannot invest. And when you do not invest, you cannot make profit. And when you don't have profit, how will you grow your business? So you have to think of, there are so many options available. And again, there's one thing I want you to understand. Network with people. Network with people that matters to your business. If the funds are available there and you don't have the right information, will you be able to access the fund? Definitely no. So you have to know the right people to connect with to access such funds. You have to have a good business plan to be able to show something to access that fund. The money is there, but they are looking for unique ideas. They are looking for determined entrepreneurs. They are looking for committed business owners. That's what the fund is meant for. It's not meant for bikini. It's not meant for social activities. The money, all these ones I've told you, most of them are for proper economic development. They are meant for people that are into investment, people that the society matters to them. So the money is not just there. That's why they don't give it to anybody. You just get money, go and marry more wives, or you buy a car, no, or you go for shopping in some other countries, no. The money is meant for investment. So If you have any query, any questions, I'll be glad to answer it, because I'm really interested in my students getting to do something, and they always complain we don't have the capital. No, the capital is there. Even with little or no money, the business can start. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate. Thank you.